Hello guys, welcome back. I'm here in Shanghai and I will be discussing prices in the city. I read somewhere that Shanghai is one of the most expensive cities in the world, but to my surprise, it can be done on a budget. I will be sharing with you mainly the prices and some budget tips, of course. I will be talking about prices with regards to transportation, accommodation, and even go to a grocery store where you can see the prices for yourself. Also, I think going to foreign grocery stores are cool, and being able to see like the different food and everything, and especially with everything written in Chinese, it's super cool to me personally. I'm gonna just cut into this video really quick. I forgot to mention the average salary per year here in Shanghai is $42,000 roughly. And in China as a whole, 100 million people live off of $1 per day or less. It's just unreal. I couldn't believe that when I read it. Anyway, now back to the original video. We'll get going and start talking about the cost of transportation. So transportation here in Shanghai is super easy. They have a massive subway system. It's one of the biggest in the world. I talk about it more in my previous Shanghai videos, so you can check that out if you're interested. It's extremely easy to use. Everything is in English. Because Google and Facebook and everything are blocked here, you can use the app maps.me and use the metro or the subway filter, and you can see where all the stations are and the colors of the lines and the numbers of the line. It's really easy. But anyway, cost for that is pretty cheap. I haven't paid more than like 60 or 70 cents for a ride. Granted, I haven't gone super far either. At least like 6 to 8 stops will cost you 60 to 70 cents. So it's pretty cheap. And Shanghai is huge, so you'll have to definitely take the metro. I have not taken taxis. It's probably a lot more expensive. There's also city buses. I see them everywhere. They're electric too, which is awesome. Be careful because they're silent, so gotta always look both ways when crossing the street here. Same with the bikes. Everybody's got little electric bikes. You can rent just a regular city bike. So many people ride city bikes around here, and you can drop it off anywhere. I think you need a SIM card because I think you gotta buy it on the app or pay for it on the app. But that's a good way to get around and a great way to see the city. On to accommodation. Accommodation here is actually not too bad. For a hostel, I paid about $8 or $9 per night, I think, which is not terrible, but it's not as cheap as like Southeast Asia. But still, for just a few days, it's not bad at all. You can obviously go anywhere up from there. They have all the fancy hotels here like Marriott and Ritz-Carlton, which are super expensive, but hostels are pretty cheap here for being such a massive developed city. So I highly recommend hostels. You can book on booking.com and Aguava. They have deals and everything, so you just have to check and see the prices specifically for those. Onto food. Food ranges from super cheap to really expensive, of course. If you're in the touristy areas, you'll pay a lot of money for food, of course, as with anywhere. If you go to places that are local and not marketed for tourists, then it'll be pretty cheap. And tonight I will go out and get some food, and I'll show you the prices and everything. Yesterday I paid like $1.70 for a meal of like 16 dumplings or something like that. It was just some local place on a corner, and I don't know, they didn't speak a word of English, but their food was really good and it was cheap. Beer is super cheap. The beer I just got earlier in this video was about 5 RMB, which maybe 80 cents or something from the mini mart. From the grocery store, you'll see it's even cheaper. Now we can go hit the grocery store and I'll show you some prices of actual groceries. So let's go. One thing I really like about Shanghai is not only do they have the electric bikes and the electric buses, but they have recycle bins everywhere. Like everywhere there's a trash bin, there's a recycle bin, which is really good. Despite China being one of the most polluted places in the world, they're leading the world in green energy. Time to hit up Century Mart. So this supermarket is like your all-in-one store. It's got everything, but I'm gonna just be focusing on food for now. So keep in mind that 6.9 RMB equals $1 US, and I'll put the conversions. Let's start at everybody's favorite. Crab Cheetos. Doritos. Ooh, Italian red meat flavor, yes. Grilled squid. Anime Pringles. Now that's something you don't see every day. Chips Ahoy, $14.30. Oreos, $16.50 for the huge box. I love looking at the logos written in Chinese. I think that's so cool. I really like different scripts and different alphabets and characters and stuff. I think it's just so sick. Gum, $9.90 for stride. Lots of local nuts and such, all roughly like $1 and up. Actually, no, even a little bit less, like $5.50. Crab flavored peas, nice. Western food is pretty expensive, as you can see. 17 to 28 per box. That's a lot. And pasta too, $14.50 for a little bag. Popcorn, chips, the local kind. Oranges, $9.80. Dragon fruit, $7.98. Tomatoes, $9.80. Bananas, $16 for this many. Apples, $13.80. For 5 liters of water, $8.70. I definitely recommend getting this brand because you can't drink the tap water here. For a half liter, it's like $1.30. For 2 liters of Coke, it is $6.40. And for a small one, it is $3.20 or $2.20 for Pepsi. Spam, $33.20. It's expensive. Peanut butter, for American brand, it's $20, and for the local brand, it's $14. Really cheap. Or for a bigger one, it's $23 or $15. And last but not least, my favorite aisle, and that is the beer aisle. Beer is super cheap here, way cheaper than Malaysia. Alright, we'll start with the imports. Carlsberg, $5.50 for 600 ml, or $6.40. That's cheap, really cheap. Bud, $7.60 for this 600 ml bottle. That's cheaper than America. Lots of imported beer, German beer, for roughly $1 to $2 per can. Corona, $9.90. And they have this local kind. Tsingtao is like the common brand here, $4.30 for the half liter, or no, for 600 ml. They have many different variations of that. $13.50 for a 6-pack. So cheap. And then these are even cheaper, $10.50 for 3 bottles. All in all, not too bad. And I will catch you in a bit when I go to eat dinner, hopefully at a local place. So it is now time for dinner, and apparently this noodle place here is like one of the best noodle places in Shanghai. I got this huge bowl of soup for 25 RMB, which is like $3, $4. So a little more expensive, but well worth it at this so-called world-renowned soup place. Alright, so I'm back at my hostel now. It was pretty good food. It was so much, like definitely enough for 2 people. I finished like half. I felt bad for wasting it, but like it was just a ridiculous amount of food. I had the beef soup, and yeah, not bad. Definitely a very local place, and that's what I was going for. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed this video with prices and costs here in Shanghai. Let me know if you like it, and don't forget to subscribe. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Later, friends.